Hello and welcome. I'm excited today to share with you a story. I too love stories, things that I can just calmly, passively listen to as a way to relax and just listen. So, as we begin, we'll just start to settle in to take in this story, noticing how the body might just subtly shift or adjust through the shoulders or the arms or head, coming into its next level of easy, relaxed comfort. Maybe noticing the breath take a deep, full pull in and an easy release as we begin. The sky was clear, brilliantly bright, the desert sun illuminating the clear dome of blue above me. The air, where it filtered in through the opened windows of the black truck that I drove in down this straight, paved road. That blowing breeze was cool on my skin, but where the sun touched my arm and hand and the side of my face, it was warm. The combination comfortable and fresh. I relaxed a bit into the seat and smiled at the driver as the truck slowed on this straight desert road. The sound of the blinker as the truck turned left off the paved road and onto a red rock gravel road. The truck rolled forward for just a few moments before we stopped, bringing up the rear now of quite a long line. All different kinds of cars and trucks and those converted passenger vans that adventurous folks like to take out into the deserts and mountains of this part of the country. All of us passengers patiently waiting now to enter Arches National Park. The massive red stone rose up like grand buildings on either side of this road, their massive size dwarfing this long line of cars and people, so that the road itself and the cars on it looked like a small trickling stream within a massive red canyon. I filled my lungs with the fresh air and exhaled, settling in for this brief wait before entering the park. 2 other passengers in my truck hopped out of the car, jumped onto the bed, and popped open a cooler, starting to make some snacks for the wait. Sandwiches were handed up through the small back window. Simple, donned and topped with dill pickle chips for an added flair. It was sweet, I thought, that they had made lunch for us. As we now neared the very front of the line to enter the park. As the truck rolled through the entrance gates and we headed up over the winding road, toward the flat top mesa that our trail began on. My face went slack, my eyes calmly opened wider as I began to take in the scene in front of me. A red rock landscape with massive jutting formations reaching out of the flat stone. Delicately bending arches, and seemingly magic balancing rocks. Settled on top of tall spires. I filled my lungs, filled my eyes, my mind with this view as the truck wound up further toward the primitive trail loop. The car was parked. Myself and my passengers stepped out, tossed on our bags, took a swig of water, and headed for the trailhead. I felt my body relax and settle into a comfortable gait as we began down the 7-mile loop. The trail was glorious. The warm orange and red stone just subtly rough against my hand as I drug my fingers across the walls. Rock formations like semis stacked on top of one another that we could climb as the trail ascended further. My breath was coming a bit heavier now as I efforted myself along, coming around a large stone wall like the side of a building. The sun warm against the back of my head and shoulders. The view I saw next would steal my breath and sear itself into my mind, never to be forgotten. I stepped around that massive, building-like rock formation And as the scene opened up in front of me, I had to stop and sit. For there out in front of me, another massive orange fin of rock reached up from the ground. Massive again, like a building, like the formation I'd just walked beyond. But this formation, this massive, towering, flat wall of rock, at its very center, held a massive hole. It seemed as though I could have stood 3 of myself inside the hole, perfectly circular in the center of this massive orange wall of rock. The brilliant, bright sky beaming through the hole. The view stunned me, and as I sat down, my hands on my knees, my breath coming fully, I noticed that the hole, it sang, that the dry desert breeze blowing up against the wall whistled through this magnificent, mysterious formation, and that the hum, the song that the wind sung through this stone was both haunting and wildly beautiful. I sat there, my eyes entirely captivated by the scene in front of me for a few more minutes. My lungs filling with the breath with this scene, relaxing my face, my jaw, softening my shoulders and hands and chest, so that this scene might imprint itself into my body, into my cells, never to forget it. My friends began to call, and finally I stood, walking another half-mile with this brilliant creation in my view, before we found a small stream and followed it off to the right, leaving this brilliant scene behind us, just to go walk through more massive spires, more intricate fins of this rough orange stone, arching delicately up toward the sky, the brilliant blue above us. We continued for a bit longer as the sun began to descend, throwing purple shadows across the orange formations, the warmth beginning to seep from my skin into the desert air around me. We walked up a final rise. The path getting more worn now, closer to the beginning. I walked slowly up the rise, my 3 friends scattering out in front of me. I took one final breath in, filling my lungs from the base to the very top with this dry but brilliant desert air. And relaxed, stepping over the final rise, back up to the parked cars, back into the truck, and back on our way. This memory to be sealed in my mind from that day forward. Thank you for joining me for this soft-spoken story. Shanti, my friend, deepest peace to you. I'll catch you next time.